Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 109 of my modded Factorio playthrough. In this episode, we are going to work on tin, manganese, and nickel. Enjoy. And how's this sulfur dioxide gas going? Well, it's full. That's kind of a problem. Oh, can't see what's going on there. Where are some radars? I need some radars. Well, I got the resources for 2. Let's see, let's move this down so we get maximum view. There's a dark spot right there. There we go. Right there. It's kind of hanging off the edge a little bit. Oh, we can kind of visually fix that. There we go. So we have sight. So what's going on? Is there just not enough room for that sulfur? Seems like it. And we do have the proper top-up valve, it's just the system didn't have much room, and now we're not really consuming anything. And it's full again. See, so why isn't this actually going? Let's remove it and get it hooked up, and hopefully having both sides of the factory using that sulfuric acid will help clear the blockage. Well, for one, we can just kind of connect it all and let it empty itself. Ah, I see why we're not running. Guess what? No water. I mean, the tanks were basically dry anyway, so it wouldn't have made too much difference, but... There we go. Now let's let this run and drain itself. There we go. Now there's a bunch of stuff we don't need anymore. Although we do have this sulfur dioxide gas from the other side of the factory that needs to be connected. So I have to remember to do that. Leave that unhooked for now. But now we can unhook all this sulfuric acid. Could probably get rid of these overflow valves that was there just to smooth out the production way back when. Looks like we've got another one right here. Don't really need them anymore. Now we don't need to have these water treatment plants anymore. It does look like the saline water is kind of bouncing around though. There's a lot going on right here. So let's keep it connected. See, we got a signal coming through here, but it looks like it's just a rogue wire at this point. It's definitely all these pipes going everywhere is kind of a mess, but before long we'll be picking everything up anyway, so it's not too important that it's all looks straight. Yeah, when you take that off, it kind of leaves the thing there still. It's kind of strange how it does that. A bug, I guess. Wonder if there's a better way of getting rid of that. Landfill? Yeah. Well, that's gonna be kind of annoying if that just stays there forever. I'm gonna try to save and reload just to see if it disappears. Nope. Does it appear on the map? Seems like it actually does. That's an annoying bug because it flashes. Maybe I can place something else on top of it? Nope. That is weird. It doesn't matter what's underneath it, it stays there. Is that a problem that plagues all pumps? Nope. Okay. So it seems to be... Well, I'll double check. I'll save here and reload. Okay. So it disappears. It seems to be a remnant of updating the mod list, basically, of where an existing pump was there. And then I installed the mod, and then it caused that. So hopefully the mod gets updated and that stops, because otherwise we're going to have quite a few pumps sitting around here that are going to exhibit that same problem. But what can you do? It's not worth fussing over right now. I'm sure there's... Obviously it's in the game somehow. So I'm sure there's some way of finding out what that is and deleting it. But I'll worry about that later instead of messing around with that for an hour on camera and just not knowing what I'm doing. So we've got our sulfur dioxide gas. It looks like we have a giant zigzag. Probably not necessary because we did have it right around here. Looks like some trees are going to be in the way, but we can just grab it and keep it moving. And once we get to here, we're going to have a bit of a choice to make. And how exactly to get it around? Actually, we can come in through here. And then we can kind of... Oh wait, that's the wrong acid type though. That is sulfuric. We need the gas. So I guess we'll just keep going. I'm not going to worry about spacing these out. There we go. I think it's right here. There we go. So now the dioxide gas is connected. And it's still full. Ah, well. It's kind of connected to both sides here. But we still want to keep this isolated from our storage tanks here so they eventually empty for our train station. So I think we just need to be patient. We'll eventually use it. And sulfur overload is definitely a thing. So it might even come to the point where we have to vent the gas. We'll just have to play it by ear. But it makes sense when you're still building the factory like this. That you're going to have leftovers that you can't get rid of because you need to have the whole system in place first before it will properly handle all the resources, so it is what it is. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it got to 8.1K, which is pretty close. And it's slowly making its way through it. Well, next we needed to do tin. This actually looks to be very straightforward. It's basically just half of what an iron is here. So we'll copy this whole thing and go over and space it out by 1. So let's pick up, oh, like 8 of these. So it's an even number. Then line it up. So something like that. Okay. Switch to tin. Where we have our 2 inputs. And out of belts again. And then we have our output. Alternating regular and near ought to work fine. Let's see, let's grab a copy of this. And line it up. And set this up for... Where are you? Tin. And we need the fuel, which is coke, which we have right here. We can have the yellow belt go up. Put a splitter here. And then switch all of this to yellow. And out of belts. Looks like we might be overloaded on copper. So perhaps we should take a run of it and put it in the other system. Just so this one can keep running. Of course, we can't hold very much in this vehicle, but we'll carry what we can. Let's see if we can just drop it in our distribution chest right here. But perhaps we should put larger chest here. And that'll find its way to where it needs to go. Alright. Let's get the fuel in here. Actually, can probably just come in through under here. Now we just have a lot of belts. We're gonna have to run up here. And probably an even greater shimmy. And sooner or later we're going to have to overlap the shimmies here, so we'll have to figure out what to do as far as making the belts look straight. But running this should turn off the stop signal for several systems. I don't think anything's actually going to run though, because nothing has a run signal that produces tin. Yeah, things are starting to get a little messy. Well, we don't have to go over all of this. It is going over that patch, but problems for another day. Okay, connect. So this should find itself below 80. And then some of these stop signals will turn off. Well, we do have an on signal. So this kind of shows how this works here, is that there's an on signal, so something wants this to run. Probably silicon, I would guess. But it has a stop signal from tin, so it's not running. But now that that stop signal turns off, everything starts moving again. And that's kind of why I put those lights there. Just makes it a little easier to see what's going on. So how's this going? Pretty good, it seems. This seems to be running okay. We have 8, but we only need 6.7. So those ones on the back are only going to run sometimes. But it's looking good. Okay, we've got tin and lead. Now we need to go down to the 30 per second items, which is nickel, silicon, manganese, and aluminum. So let's do it in the same order that it is right here. So manganese is next. So let's do that. Because we don't have the second tier of ore processing unlocked for these, because that's unlocked behind blue science, that these ones are going to be very simple to set up. And we'll still try to set it up in such a way where they're spaced like this. So if we need to upgrade, which we probably will want to when we get that research done, we can just kind of slot it in here. Okay, well, we've got a train station. Well, I don't know how much more stereotype we're going to need, but let's just plop a warehouse right here and completely drain this train station. And if we need some more, we'll just pick it up out of this warehouse and bring it over. And eventually we'll have to remember that this exists and we'll have to drain it. But I guess we can set it up to drain over there, but... And we have a bit of a train station to remove. Let's see, I believe that was actually connected to a pump. So we probably want to leave this connected there. I'm not sure what that was doing there, but it doesn't look like it was necessary. And we'll probably want to leave all of those power lines. While we're here, I kind of do want to straighten this part up, because it looked pretty bad before. And I'm just going to leave this train parked here for now, since it's still got some resources in it, although not much. But let's just leave it on manual. We can fill it up again, the resources on hand, and then just let it drain itself over time. There we go. I'll just leave it all in there for now. I don't really feel like going all the way back just to deliver it. Whoa, 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 whoa. 31,000. Oh, I set that to tin ore. Whoops. Well, we've got a lot of tin. It'll get used eventually. Plus, we were overloaded on it to begin with, so it's not much of a problem. Alright. So we needed to do manganese, but because it's tier 1, it's very simple. Just 4 blast furnaces and some coke. I don't know if I should build it to be expandable. It's probably not necessary. So we'll just worry about our yellow belt of fuel coming in, red belt of the ores, and then the output can be yellow on each side. Let's see, copy it again. But then set these to nearsighted. There we go. Let's see, I kind of want to build this just down here to reserve the space. Then we'll pick it up later once we've placed the next thing down. Because now that we have this, we can kind of center it the best we can, which is right here. And also line it up here. So you can just kind of pick all this up, and this right there. Need some light. Then we got a red belt. Just going straight through. Connected to there. Make sure these are set properly. To manganese. Now we just need to run the belt down. It's getting increasingly difficult to snake it around here. We'll just have to see what it looks like. I don't want to go like straight over this patch. Like, I get it that we kind of covered a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's a little gross, but I don't want to go like right down there. So maybe I should just go, you know, zigzag through there. So there's our one belt. So we'll come over here and yes, go around a bit. Then we can kind of go up through there and move everything around later if we have to. Let's see, we need to get the fuel in here, and it was coke. And let's see, let's come in through here and like there, just doing it the same way we did all the other locations. We have run out of coke. Wonder if that's because of sulfur overload. Nope, just no water. That should be easy to fix because we're actually standing right next to it. It is right here. So pick that up. Plop it down. Nope. Or it did fix it. Ah, perhaps when I was removing trees, I accidentally removed some pipes. Is it flowing? Looks like it. So it'll make it back here. Okay, we've got some coke. So let's fire this up. It's going, but it seems like it's a little slower than I would have hoped for it to be. Looks like it's not getting these resources off fast enough. So let's do regular right there. And near-handed right there. Looks like it's still not quite going fast enough, so let's upgrade this to red. There we go, looking better. Consuming the full belt. And loading up on manganese. So what's the next one? Nickel. So with nickel we do have the higher tier of processing. But it's a little different than the other ones. 10 ore processors into 15 chemical furnaces into 4 blast furnaces. Nothing about that is convenient as far as ratios are concerned. But we'll grab this and move it over. Let's see, that pipe is going to find itself in the way. So let's run it from up here instead. And in fact, because this is such a long distance, perhaps we don't need it at all, because we can use the underground pump, which we can research right here. So we can get the first tier, and the second tier, but not the third one. So we will have access to 300 water per second. And that was fast. Okay, here we are. Not sure exactly how much we need. I don't know if it's still in the calculations here, but I kind of don't want to bother with it. But we do know that one offshore pump is 1200 per second, so that would mean we would need to have 4 of these. But we need steel. Looks like we are full again here on propane gas, but it's not because of residual gas. I guess it's just the propane isn't getting burned. Tank is full. And lo and behold, it's because we have a failure with this pump right here. There we go. Well, it's trying to go through it. It's going to take a little while. Fixing problems one pipe at a time. Let's see, let's grab some steel. Our inventory is a complete mess. And we'll get some bronze plates so we can make our water pump jacks. So let's just kind of connect these in a line. And they're using a ton of power, but they're getting the job done. We should probably look around the factory for any other pumps that are taking a really long path just to get to water. Actually, that might be the only one. Although we do have some groundwater bores right here. See, we have 4 of them. Each one does 60 per second, so I would imagine that would mean one pump jack will be fine. So let's plop this right in there. There we go. Problem solved, but no infinite water. We have to pay electricity to get it. How are we doing on sulfur now that we're starting that process up again? It's filling up. It's not critical yet, so let it keep going for now. So we needed 10 of these. Plop that right there. Then we can get rid of these extra ones. And let's do 12. Just because it's an even number here. It'd be a little weird if it was 10. So we'll do nickel. So this might potentially take up some space. Well, we've got the 4 blast furnaces as an output, which we also have up here. So you can probably just copy those. So the question is, would the space in the middle be enough for these chemical furnaces? So we need 15, but let's do 16 of them. Yeah, it looks like 8 would fit in there. So we need nickel cathode. Something like this. Then they have, it's basically just input of acid and the processed nickel, and then the cathodes come out. And they are fairly slow machines, so yellow inserter will work. But we'll have a yellow belt going in. Then we have our output. And since we're going to have one machine on each side, we don't need to worry about near and fars. We are going to have to figure out where to put the power poles. Although I suppose there's really no problem with just switching these around to the other side to leave room for the poles, but... So we pick this up. Flip it around. It looks like we're going to have to fix the inserters manually. Okay, seems pretty good. Let's get everything lined up. So there's our input. So the output would come up through there. So let's see what we can do about copying this. And lining it up. Like right about there. Oh, we need some lights in here. Then we got to set this up for nickel. This as well. And then we just need to pick this up and center it. How about right here? So we've got to get a fuel in here. Which in this case can just be the bricks. And we need to get acid up here. Probably have to send it all the way down from over here. Well, at least we'll have something to use all that extra sulfur on. And we'll probably want to set this up the same way as some of these other locations, where we've got a buffer tank and a pump going into it. Okay, there's the acid getting filled in. I think we just need to deliver the ore. This path might be a little strange. Because it has to pass through here. So let's go this way. I guess this could be made to be straight. And it actually is straight. So getting distributed. This is not going to process a full belt of ore, so it doesn't need to be completely compacted. That seems pretty good. How much of that do we have to go through? 23,000, not too bad. Okay. Silicon is next. But that's going to have to wait until the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.